Hello, my name's Zach, and this is my Let's Critique video for Kingdom. Now, this is a 2D strategy and resource management game that was developed by Noyo and Licorice, and it was published by Raw Fury Games. It was released on PC, and typically it appeals to players who are alright with a slower-paced gaming experience, someone who enjoys planning out their whole approach to beating the game, but can also think on their feet and enjoy the uncertainty that the game throws at them. It's also not a multiplayer game, so it's not a social gaming experience, but like I said, it's slower and more calculated. Something you can really immerse yourself into as you explore the realm that it gives you. Now, one of my favorite things about this game is its minimalist aesthetic. Not only does it embody it in its 2D pixelated art style, but it also showcases minimalism in its mechanics, the player controls, and as you can see there, the tutorial. So the tutorial is presented in the first sort of couple minutes of the game through these small bits of white text. So as you can see there, you can use the arrow keys left and right to control your player, and there aren't a lot of controls overall. So there's just those two. You can also use A or D to move left and right, respectively. It is kind of annoying that they don't list that out there, but it kind of relies on players' own experiences with the computers to understand that they can do that. As well, you can see I used left shift there to run, and then the last action that you have as a player is investing your money. So the game starts you off with 10 coins, and by pressing down you can drop the coins, or if you hold it down, like at the campfire and this bow station, you can invest it and buy things. So I've bought a bow there, and now I have an archer going off and shooting animals to get more coins. And on this side, I've invested in a hammer, so my other villager can now go over here. If I queue up a build for him, he'll go and create a wall to help protect my kingdom. So moving left, moving right, running, and investing or dropping your money are the extent of the actions a player has in this game. And to close off the tutorial that the game provides, build, expand, defend are the basic goals in Kingdom. With that in mind, I'm going to invest a coin to get a wall built on the right side of the castle. So Kingdom has three main economies in the game. Coins, which you saw already, villagers, and also time. So you've seen all three of them a little bit already. Villagers spawn in several camps hidden on the left and right sides of the kingdom. When they're given a coin, they're converted into subjects, so you can see they no longer wear rags, and they'll march off back to your camp so that they can pick up a tool and finally be of use and help you build up your defenses. When the villagers tool up to become more specific workers like builders, archers, and even later in the game, knights and farmers, it converts them once again into a more specific role. This resource is in the end drained though when the monsters attack, so we'll see that later on once we reach the knight. Right now I'm just exploring as far to the right as I can. You can find cool little rewards like this statue here, and even the portal that the enemies will spawn out of. So the game likes to reward exploration with that cool statue. Sometimes there's little chests of loot as well to encourage the exploration, but also create a little bit of mystery and intrigue, because they don't give explanations to what these things are like they do for the sales huts in the tutorial. But as we pass the statue, you'll be able to see that, like the other infrastructure improvements, you can invest coins into it, so the player is able to recognize with that consistent interface that it is something that they should be able to invest their coins into to get an improvement, hopefully. It does take some trial and error though, and careful observation by the player to really understand what they're doing though. Anyways, back to the three resources. As you've probably noticed, the background's now changed, and it's now nighttime, so daylight, the third resource in the game, is a really essential one, because it's only during daylight that you have time to actually go explore the world, recruit people, and go figure out what your game plan is and expand the kingdom. Because at night, enemies start attacking it. I think think you can hear one over here. Yeah, so these are the enemies. At the beginning of the game, it starts with an easy difficulty. There'll only be 1 or 2 enemies attacking each night, but there's a little bit of uncertainty actually here. You can see in the top right corner there's a 2, so that shows that it's only night 2. Around every 5 or so nights, there's a little bit of variation in the uncertainty in the game. But every 5 or so nights there'll be a blood moon, and so on the blood moons, that's when larger hordes of monsters attack, and it continually ramps up in difficulty, sometimes throwing in more difficult monsters where you require catapults to kill them. There's no way to get more daytime in the game, but this is why having that run button and knowing your surroundings is so important, because you can plan out how to spend your day wisely. You might want to make sure you have enough coins stocked up so you can make a full run all the way to one end of the map, recruiting villagers, and then make it all the way back before the monsters attack. Or villagers take a long time to walk as well, so if I set them on a mission to tear down a tree or build up a wall to expand the kingdom, I need to make sure that there's still enough time in the day for them to get out there and do that and make it back behind the wall. Actually, same goes for the villagers that I just recruited. If I recruited them around like noon or even past that, there's almost no chance they'll make it back behind my walls before the monsters start attacking, so it would have been a waste of gold. They'll just get stolen from them right away. Aside from these core mechanics, there's not much more to the game. Each day is spent making sure you collect money, recruit more people, and continue to expand your kingdom, or at least explore so you can plan out how you're going to expand it, like which stages you want to expand to next, so that you don't get caught out undefended or having your archers on the wrong side of a wall. Now, since I've already explored the right side all the way up to the portal, I'm going to try exploring to the left. And over here we found a merchant, so this is another way that the game rewards players for exploration. And a bit farther to the left here, we've got a chest. So there's usually only 1 or 2 of these scattered on each map. But these are both really good rewards for exploring and encouraging players to continue to do that. So the merchant, you saw that I invested 4 coins into him, so he's now gonna walk back to my kingdom and randomly refill one of my tool stalls. So if I'm lucky and he refills something like the hammers, which is worth 3 coins, whereas the bows cost 2 coins, that'll really help me out financially, because I won't have to pay as much to get a full stall full of them. And I'm just gonna run back now since it's nighttime, but you might have noticed that I passed a wooden structure. That's another little reward, like the statues that I found on the right side, where you're not quite sure what they'll do when you invest into it, but it is a bonus that'll help you out later on. Like I said, this game requires a lot of sort of exploration and discovering on your own. And like I said earlier with those other villagers on the right side, if I recruited them too late in the day, a monster will come in to steal everything from them. So that's probably a waste, actually, dropping another coin on that villager, because he's never going to make it back before more monsters arrive. So hopefully there's only 1 monster attacking this night. Oh, and a little satellite mechanic here is the player's ability to interact with the deer. So you can't interact with the rabbits that are randomly appearing around the map, but if you slowly chase down a deer, you can actually herd them all the way back to your home base, where the archers can shoot them and gain extra money that way. Okay, so I've skipped ahead a little bit now. We're about midway through day 23. I just want to show how I've actually upgraded my camp. You can see that there's a better fortress there now, or more of a cabin. And I passed lots of these environmental areas earlier where there's a little bit of water coming out of the ground. So I expanded past that, and I was actually able to improve those infrastructure parts to become farms. And now I have farmers getting me lots of coins, so that's really helping my source of gold. Also, you may have noticed that the music's like way gloomier than normal, and there's also a change in the environment. It's raining now. These are both little small indicators that the game gives to the players that there's a blood moon coming. So I mentioned those earlier, and so on the blood moons there'll be way more enemies than normal, as well as a few more difficult ones. So hopefully we can catch that. But I'm just gonna go use this statue that we found earlier at the beginning of the game, and so when I invested in that, it turned it into an archer. And so you can see now, it looks like it'll do something for my archers. Later on, as you play more, part of that discovering part of the game, you realize that it helps improve your archers' aim, and they're way more effective on blood moons like this, so it's a good way to plan. And you just saw the big monster that came with the horde just got defeated, so my archers are pretty effective. Got quite a few of them now. But anyways, the last indicator of the blood moon is that, of course, the red moon in the background, but it wasn't that big of a deal on night 23. It's only been like the 4th or 5th one so far, so it's slowly ramping up. Anyways, this has been a brief look at Kingdom and an overview of what type of game it is and who it might appeal to, some of its core and satellite mechanics, the types of uncertainty that it uses, the reward systems that it uses to encourage players to go exploring off into the woods, and of course the economic system, the money, people, and time management that this game is mainly based around. Overall, it's a more relaxed game that requires the players to be a lot more strategic in how they spend their time and actions, and also be creative and really try and think about what lots of these items and structures that they come across in the forests while they explore will do for them. By doing all this, though, the player is able to have a really fun, interesting time discovering what this game has to offer, while they build up and expand their kingdom to eventually overcome the monster threat. But yeah, this is Kingdom. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.